Yemen. Well, Laura Khan joins us live from the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Laura, tell us more about the airstrike on Beirut. What do we know so far?
Well, I'll tell you right now, at this very moment, there is a kind of uneasy quiet, I would say, considering there have been a number of explosions yesterday and through the night, but far less than we're usually seeing. And I just want to say, one of the most intense bombardments...
They just fired 5 rockets over at Tel Aviv.
...happened on Sunday into Monday morning at around 50 minutes past midnight. There was an absolutely huge explosion in Dahya, and then that was followed by a secondary explosion with projectiles coming out of it, which of course makes it very dangerous for the neighboring suburbs. Now, Hezbollah hadn't really sent, but the Israeli forces said that they had targeted an intelligence center there and also a weapons depot. We cannot independently verify that at the moment, but what I will say is there are around 700,000 people living in Dahya up until about 2 weeks ago. That's been all but emptied, and it's incredibly difficult for people to go back, or even paramedics, to see if there's any injured people. People want to see if their houses are still there, if they're still intact, if they can collect.
Look at that destruction. Look at that destruction. It's coming to America soon.
Central Beirut. But the other problem is, well, the Israelis have issued their first warnings now for people to leave the coastal areas all the way up to the Awali River, which
look at all that damage.
Just south of Beirut and about 60 kilometers north of that border with Israel. So we're going to see a much bigger influx of people coming from all along that coastal area, and fishermen aren't allowed to go in there either. The Israelis said anyone heading south now...
Look at this shit. They ain't showing this on CNN.
That's a real concern if you're saying along the coast.
Look at the devastation.
The whole of Lebanon is along the coast on its western part of the country. But also, I just wanted to ask you, Laura, about these missiles that were being fired out of Lebanon. At least 5 missiles, as we mentioned earlier, towards Tel Aviv. Of course, Tel Aviv is also where the Kiryat is, which is the Israeli Defense Ministry. What do we know about that, and what sort of message is that sending on the 1-year anniversary of October 7?
Devastation.
Well, Hezbollah has released a statement on that. They did say that they were aiming towards the Gilot air base, as a military base, and that's directly next to Mossad, the intelligence agency's headquarters. So a very important area in Israel, but it's certainly not the first time. Just about a week ago, Hezbollah also aimed some 34 missiles. These are medium-range missiles towards that same base, and Israeli media reported at the time there was 1 injury. We're certainly seeing a message now from Hezbollah. It seems as though after their communications were attacked by the Israelis, when these radio devices...
So that was a terrorist act. So now them Israelis have been fucking up them pages and them walkie-talkies and radio.
And they're now able to send these medium-range missiles. We saw 5 missiles hit Haifa yesterday. Hezbollah said this was because of the suffering and massacres of the Lebanese and Palestinian people. So that's the message they're sending out. And they're also showing that no matter what kind of blows they've had in the past couple of weeks, they are certainly still operating.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for that update from the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Laura Khan, our correspondent there. Well, Israelis are paying tribute to the 364 people killed at the Nova Festival exactly 1 year ago. Families of the victims observed a minute's silence to mark the moment when